Hi there, Loy from loymachedo.com and whoisloymachedo.com. Today is the, today is the 14th of May 2014 at 1:27 in the afternoon. I want to complete the book review of this book, Good Advice from Bad People. And especially if you actually look down, he says, selected wisdom from murderers, stock swindlers, and Lance Armstrong. I don't know why did he specifically put Lance Armstrong so bold. They shouldn't have done that. But anyway, this is written by, this is written by Zac Bissonnette. Zac Bissonnette. Okay, I don't know. Is his photograph there? Yeah, his photograph is here. His photograph is here. The world is full of people telling you how to live your life. Okay, so now, the short form for this book, Good Advice from Bad People, is GAFBP. Okay, GAFAP. Okay, whatever. Now, this is a cleverly crafted, condensed, crazy collection of catchphrases communicated by characters of our cash-rich society community. Okay, so what he has done is Zac has kind of condensed a summary of each and every character that he wanted to present here, given their famous quotes for which they are famous for, and then given the reality. What I liked was the tabloid form of presentation that he has given this book. The other thing which I found was it was amazingly astute, and it was pretty easy to read. I think the wit, sarcasm, and irony by which he laced every chapter, I think this is what made the book stand out. And if you ask me what I loved best was the fact that the author, without even becoming didactic, what he did was he presented us with a thought-provoking question. What was the thought-provoking question is, what is it in our nature that makes us glorify shallow people? Okay, and once after you find out their reality, you dish out the advice, you dish them out, and you crucify them. Okay, so I think it's even happening to me. Like, for example, people come to me, take help, and then after that, when they get into my personal records, they find my failures, they find funny opinions of mine or funny videos, and all of a sudden it's like they took my help and now they want to crucify me. So I don't know. But anyway, some of the examples that I found amusing in this book, I think I gave a couple of them. One is Victoria Osteen, who is the wife of Osteen. What's his name? I can't get his name. Let me just tell you. The chap, what's his name? Osteen. O-S-T-E-E-N. Osteen. Okay, Joel Osteen. Yes, I just wanted to be sure. Okay, Joel Osteen. So Victoria, what she did is she abused a flight attendant, and I don't know whether they just hyped up this incident, but apparently she abused a flight attendant. Then Donald Trump, the famous guy, on not being cocky. Like, let me give you his advice. Donald Trump has actually written in this book, and here he is, the famous Donald Trump. What he says here is, you have to be confident as you face the world each day, but you can't be too cocky. Donald Trump telling you not to be cocky. Anyone who thinks he's grown to win them all is going to wind up as a huge loser. Donald Trump on Trump surviving at the top. The funny thing is, he lost everything because he thought he couldn't fail. Then Evander Holyfield's desire to provide the best for his family. Even after earning $50 million, he got bankrupt and today he can't support his family at all. Then John Scully's view on leadership. And John Scully, I bought his new book on the hardcover, that is Odyssey. He talks about leadership when he himself failed to make Apple succeed. He succeeded in Pepsi, but not in Apple. Then Whitmore, Kodak's president. You might not know what is Kodak, but Kodak was once upon a time the most famous, camera reel and cameras. And, those days we used to have that physical thing, not the digital version. So his views on new opportunities. Then Jesse Jackson on living above your means is a financial sin. And Jesse Jackson is one of the reverend people, and he wrote this book and he himself got into bankruptcy and issues. O.J. Simpson on personal responsibility, the guy who himself tried to kill a woman. Then Tiger Woods on being a role model, which is funny. Okay, Richard Nixon on selflessness, the guy who was totally selfish. Donald Rumsfeld on the Iraq War, and he famously says, I doubt that the Iraq War could last more than 6 months. It lasted 7 years. Then Robert Schuller. Did I put his spelling right? Okay. Robert Schuller was this famous guy who wrote all these books on humility, God, and all that stuff. And later on, he became a bully himself. Then George Bush on education. Ha, ha, ha. George Bush on education. Michael Fortino on personal responsibility. Now, this guy, he kind of gave his laptop after a presentation on how you need a personal responsibility and protect the children from all the bad things. And his laptop was caught with not only porn but child pornography, and that is sick. Then Pastor Ted Haggard, who, if you actually Google Pastor Ted Haggard versus Richard Dawkins, he was so against atheists and so against homosexuals. He himself was caught having an affair with the one illegally, kind of like, Then Barbara DeAngelis and John Gray. This was my favorite. They both are authorities on relationships. John Gray has written this book on Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, bestseller. Barbara DeAngelis on women's empowerment and how they can make men fall in love with women. And both of them got married to each other and successfully divorced. So, however, there were bits of this book which I didn't want to mention and highlight. For example, one is John R. Lehrer, who is the author of many famous books. What are the books? How Creativity Works. Imagine he was responsible for misquoting some of the famous personalities. I think he misquoted, what's that guy's name? I can't get it right now, man. What is it? Bob Dylan. Yes, Bob Dylan. And he was misquoting, and he misquoted most of the other scientists. I don't know why he did that. And then Oscar Pistorius, he was also mentioned in the book because he's caught for murder right now. And then, yes, finally, Lance Armstrong, who I love. Lance Armstrong is a guy who I love. Agreed he took steroids, he cheated and all that. But, man, he worked his hair off. And here's the famous George Bush telling you about education. So, I found this book entertaining, even though this book didn't have very high reviews. And I gave it an 8 out of 10 because if you're looking for a book that is easy to read, that is enjoyable, that is entertaining, this is the book for you. I finished reading this book in 30 minutes. So, my dear friends, good advice from bad people, and maybe bad people like me. Aha! This is the book, Zac Bissonnette. I recommend you buy the book and you'll enjoy it. And, a lot of stuff to quote. Loy from loymachedo.com and whoisloymachedo.com saying goodbye.